What's good, guys? Time for a DL short. Now, you guys know I've been talking about the fact that the average American can't afford to live in America, how there's no more middle class. It's either you have it, i.e., you're a one percenter, or you don't, i.e., you're everyone else. Been talking about the fact that we don't teach our children to think. Like we've become a society of sheeple, just going around doing what you're told, and how politics is run by the 1%. So it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Both parties, all those elected officials, all those multimillionaires, they all answer to the same people, right? I've been saying that for a long time. I'm going to continue to say it. So I was sitting down, it's late where I am, and I came across a YouTube video from some guy who calls himself Eugene from Kenya. So that's a Kenyan. And I haven't watched the entire video, but the first couple minutes is just a rant from an American, a woman out here, like one of our fellow American sisters. It's a white lady, but we're all brothers and sisters. When you pull the skin back, we all got the same innards. And she was on this rant, and I just stopped what I was doing. Like, let me go upstairs and turn on this equipment and let you guys see this. Man, check this out.
I went to Target yesterday and bought 2 bottles of hair product, a bottle of shampoo, a box of trash bags, and one Halloween decoration. $70 on my Target Red card. That's with my 5% discount. My son's looking at the carton going, Mom, this was $70. We didn't even get anything. Yeah, I know, kid. And he doesn't even remember a time when you could get a 2-bedroom apartment in a decent area of town for $600 a month. Now a 1-bedroom apartment in a mediocre part of town is $2,000 a month. Gas is $5.49 a gallon. It cost me $65 to fill up my tank. Before COVID, my grocery bill per month was $350. Now it's $600 a month, and I buy the exact same amount of groceries. This shit is out of control. What does the bourgeoisie think that the outcome of this is going to be? They cannot possibly believe that extracting every last dime out of the working class by inflating all of the prices and paying us poverty wages is a sustainable economic model. And the thing is that I could be mad at the bourgeoisie all day long, but they are doing exactly what is expected. They are greedy sociopaths. This is what they do. I am more mad at Americans because instead of uniting against this common enemy who is robbing us blind, we are fighting over whether or not drag queens can read books to children. At what point are we going to stop taking this shit lying down, put our foots down, and say, fuck this, and not allow it anymore? We cannot even afford to live in this country. We can't even afford to die in this country. The Republican Party is bought and paid for by the same greedy sociopaths who are robbing you, me, and our families blind every day. They are manipulating you into believing that they are going to save you from the problems that they created in your life. They have not walked a single inch in your working class shoes. They have no idea the struggle that you and I go through every day in this economy just to feed our families and keep them safe. They are gaslighting you into believing that I am your enemy so that you're distracted while they continue to do their dirt behind your back because they know that if you knew what they were doing, you wouldn't vote for them anymore. Why are you listening to them? The Democratic Party, with the exception of a very small few, is filled with weak and spineless politicians who placate to everyone just so that they can get reelected because they want to maintain some semblance of power in Congress. Why are you placing all of your faith and hope in this party to save us? Your religious leaders are funded by the same corporate sponsors who have bought your politicians, and they are weaponizing your faith against you so that you are distracted by a made-up enemy, your gay neighbor or your liberal coworker, so that you are not paying attention to the extreme financial crimes that they are committing against all of us right under your nose. In the richest country in the world, 500,000 people are homeless when there are more than enough homes to house them in. Millions of children are hungry or food insecure, having their one free meal taken away from them at school. 10-year-olds are being forced to bear the child of their rapist. People are rationing their insulin and dying because they cannot afford health care. The water's polluted, the air is polluted, the soil is devoid of nutrients because we have oversaturated it in pesticides. We're not going to be able to grow our own food in the coming decades. The planet is literally dying. And they are putting hotels up in space and telling you that they can't afford to pay you a living wage, and you are believing them. This period is going to go down in the history books as one of the most epic failures that America ever allowed to happen. Future generations are going to study this time in history and ask themselves, why did they not do anything? How could they not see? And if you're sitting behind your phone right now and thinking to yourself, it's not me, it's those goddamn weirdo trans kids, then you are the people that they will be talking about. Wake the fuck up.
Hello.
Shout out to her. She nailed it. She nailed it. Nothing else really to say right behind that. That's just a good old fashioned Don DeMarco.
Don DeMarco.
She nailed it. Everything she says is 100% true. Right? She says bourgeoisie, it's the 1%. Right? I say 1%. She says bourgeoisie. Some other people might say the rich folks or whatever, however you want to put it. Like the people in charge, man. People in charge. Or the people with the money, the 1%. Their biggest fear, the 1%, can't buy votes, bro. If Americans backed other Americans, honorable Americans who will go to DC to change things on your behalf, things could be different. What do we need to change, right? We need to take the dark money out of politics, right? Overturn Citizens United, and we need to implement term limits. The problem is when you elect these people and send them to DC, man, the money talks and the bullshit walks. Somebody comes up to you as an elected official and they drop off a couple of duffel bags full of cash. When they tell you we could pull you out of your situation, we could take care of your kids and your grandkids for the next 3 generations, man, they mean it. They got the bread. You heard what she was saying? They're talking about building hotels in space. You don't think they can go ahead and send your kids to Harvard or Yale or Brown? Right? Send your grandkids to Harvard, Yale, or Brown. That's the problem. You need to send people who are committed, who are honorable, who understands that all money ain't good money. Because all you got to do, all they have to do is take the dark money out of politics. It makes it harder for the 1% to buy politicians. When you do that and then implement term limits, now you've eliminated professional politicians. And then the 1% is going to have to figure out another way, but that will buy time. That will buy time. You know, these corporations that say, well, if you tax us anymore, we're going to go to another country. What country are you going to go to? This is America. What country are you going to go to? We're going to take our company over here because we get taxed less. Yeah, but the people there are out of control and the governments are corrupt and they will kidnap your employees and your corporate folks and hold them for ransom, and they will do you dirty and freeze your accounts. They're not going to go anywhere. And if they do, tell them the door is shut behind you. You go over there, but you ain't coming back. Right? We have monopolies out here, bro. You gotta break up these trusts. You know, you look at what's going on with the new technologies out here, bro. And you got people who are just running these monopolies and doing what they want to do. We're talking on the platform right now. This is a monopoly. YouTube can do whatever YouTube wants to do. You look at X. Elon Musk can do whatever he wants to do with X. Right? These things can change, but our political system is tainted. And Americans are too busy falling for the okie doke, the smoke and the mirrors. And they're like, yeah, I'm doing bad because of that migrant worker who came in this country legally or illegally. I'm doing bad because of that Asian guy over there, or I'm doing bad because of the Latin guy or the black guy or the white guy. White privilege is why I'm being held back as a black man. And everyone's sitting around with their hand out, trying to figure out the next play, trying to figure out the next hustle, because no one believes in the American dream anymore. No one believes in hard work and doing what you got to do to get there. No one believes in loyalty. What corporation is loyal to their employees? Please name me one. Everyone is loyal to the bottom line. Everybody's trying to get that dollar, period. Everyone is acting like the 1%. And they'll do anything. They don't care. They don't care. Look at that Chase Infinite Money scam thing that just went down. Those people knew they were breaking the law. They just did it anyway because they're desperate. They're desperate. Seemed like a good idea. They don't care. You know, they took that money. They wrote bad checks. It's wire fraud. They don't care. They're willing to go down. They're going to sit for 12 to 8 months or whatever. You know what I mean? Or 8 to 12 months. They're going to get less than 2 years. You're going to plead it out. Go to some camp somewhere and say, I promise I won't do it again. But they got their hands on some bread. Right? People can't afford to buy groceries. People can't afford health care for their children. We can't afford to protect ourselves, right? You know, we got, these active shooter events. And what's the first thing some people want to do? They want to take away your weapons. They want to take away your weapons because if you're not armed, you can't defend yourself when the heavy hitters come. Right? Just imagine that. What's the one thing keeping most people in check? There are more guns in this country than people. And there are a lot of people who know how to use their weapons. Imagine if they can figure out a way to take away our weapons in America. What would happen then? Just food for thought, guys. Whoever that sister was, I think her name was Joanne something. Joanne Reed. Shout out to you, Sister Joanne. Y'all should listen to what she's saying. Wake up. Right? How about you talk to those people that you think are the weirdos or whatever, and you find out they're going through exactly what you're going through. They're walking around smiling and waving like, hey, how you doing? Everything is fine, but it really isn't. They're trying to figure out how they're going to make it to the, to the next pay period or to the end of the month. Just like you. They're sitting around looking at credit card debt that they can't even pay the minimum payments on, just like you. They're trying to figure out how they're going to pay their car payment and their insurance and their mortgage or their rent, just like you. And they're working 60 hours plus a week, full-time job, part-time job, and a side hustle, just like you. Meanwhile, right, the 1%, the bourgeoisie, what are they doing? Eating at the finest restaurants in the country, having the best experiences, staying at the finest hotels, driving whatever car they want, however exotic they want it to be, wearing the best clothes, getting tailored up. There's nothing wrong with that. I ain't mad at them for getting their money. But you got to do something about the greed. You can't have it all. You just gotta, you have to empower the people that work for you to at least be able to take care of themselves, pay them a living wage, make sure they have enough money so they can buy the products that they're making at least to keep all this going. America is the wealthiest nation on the planet, hands down, second to none. And look how bad it is here. And if it's bad here, how bad is it on the rest, in the rest of the world? How bad is the rest of the planet? So just think about that, guys. Food for thought. Let me know down below what you think. Definitely drop those comments, man. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everyone coming over to I Really Want to Know podcast and, giving those subscribes up, man. I appreciate everyone, dropping their comments in there, the good comments, the bad comments, and the horrific stuff. I appreciate it. I do my best to keep up with the comments. I think I'm answering about 90%. There's some comments I just don't answer. Either like it doesn't make sense to me or it's just somebody who wants some hate stuff or whatever. So I just don't dignify it with a response. But everyone else, y'all know I'll be hitting y'all up. You don't have to agree with me. Just keep it 100 and I'll keep it 100. Keep it 100 with me. I'll keep it 100 with you. Y'all know it's late. That's why I can't get my mouth to work. It's time for me to go to bed. But I will link this video in the description below. You guys can check it out. I haven't watched past 3 minutes and 23 seconds. I just wanted to hear Sister Joanne, and I wanted you guys to hear it. Let me know what you think. I'm DL saying I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.